21st, 2023, and the time now is 6:07, and I'll call to order this regular meeting of the Town of Mead Board of Trustees. In accordance with the town's remote participation and remote meeting policy adopted by the Board of Trustees on March 13th, 2023, by resolution number 21-R-2023, today's regular meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting due to the construction in the boardroom. I'd like to remind everyone present, both in person and virtually with us tonight, of the town's general guidelines for public comment at open meetings and public hearings. Copies of the guidelines are available online. There are two opportunities for the public comment, which is on the agenda tonight, for you to address the board on any subject, whether it is on the agenda or not. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Adams. Trustee Broadhead. Trustee Harris.
Here.
Trustee Parr.
Here.
Trustee Schranz. Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, July 31st, 2023, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Last week we had a fatal vehicle accident here in Mead. Please join me in a moment of silence for the victim and in recognition of our police and first responders. Thank you very much for your time. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to review and approve agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Parr.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. We have an agenda for this evening. Move on to our staff report by our town manager. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Trustees, you do have my report. In my email that I send you on Fridays, I indicated we are running a little behind downstairs. Really the only thing in our way are the cabinetry. And allegedly, he's gonna be here tomorrow to do it. The guy's building them in his shop, so. But it sets into motion several things that keeps us from being at our board meeting on the 14th. But if everything works out, we will be in the last meeting in August. And then I did want to let you know that today we issued 2 temporary certificates of occupancy for the first 2 businesses going in at elevations 25. So that Premier Manufacturing and M&M Thrift, that's really exciting. They've been trying like crazy to finish. They've been working night and day to get that done. So there's a few things that need to be done to the site, but we were fine with getting into the building. So that's exciting. And other than that, if you have any questions?
Questions or comments? Okay. Congratulations to both of those businesses in choosing Mead. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, next is our informational item tonight. This will be an update on our community center, introduced by our town engineer, Public Works, Director Rasmussen.
Thank you. Good evening. Alright, so update on the community center design for you tonight, a little discussion about the budget. Next slide, please. So these are the renderings hot off the press. I just got them this morning. We have finalized the color selection, which is exciting. So on the right-hand side there of the screen is what would be the gymnasium, sort of the center vestibule area, which would be facing the alley. And then on the left is, in the blue area, would be the multi-purpose room. So we're progressing the plans to the 95% complete state this month. And I've got another one on the next page that, just from a little bit different angle, gives you a little better angle of the north side of the building. the multi-purpose room, and then sort of on the far left would be some covered, picnic table area underneath there that, and the future splash pad would be off to the left. Alright, next slide. I just wanted to share the floor plan again, and this is oriented a little bit differently than what we were just looking at. So obviously the large square there in the middle is the gymnasium. That entrance is in the middle upper area, and then off to the right, upper right would be the multi-purpose room. We've got a couple restrooms in there, some storage areas, some a future pump room for the splash pad. So we'll be ready to receive that when we get to that. There are 2 offices in here, front desk area, and a little kitchenette, kind of like what we've got downstairs. So really, the footprint is as small as we feel like we could practically make it and still meet the general needs of our facility. Next slide, please. So here's our schedule again. We're talking about the 95% complete construction drawings this month and moving to a full 100% into October, and that's when we would release the project to bid. Awarding a contractor hopefully in November, and then starting construction early next year and completing next fall or winter. And the reason we're here tonight is to talk about the budget. And we had approved in the 2023 budget $5.4 million for the design and construction. Our latest cost estimate is close to $7.7 million. And like I mentioned, we've made the building as small as we think we can possibly make it. With after COVID, construction prices have just continued to go up and up and up, and so we're looking at about a $2.3 million shortfall. And so what we wanted to talk about tonight was supplementing our budget with the CIP funds, and this would be something we put into the 24 budget. There is an ending fund balance of about $4 million in that CIP budget now, so there are funds available to do that. But that's what we're proposing. And let's see, next slide, I think this is my last one. So what we are also suggesting is that we push the splash park off to a future phase. That's about another $700,000.
So that wasn't in that first one?
Correct.
Okay, just
correct. And we think that that project stands alone very well as a grant opportunity. And we'd like to spend a little more time to take a deeper dive into what our operating costs are for that. It's basically a pool in terms of ongoing maintenance. It's gotta be monitored every day, even on the weekends or when it's not necessarily normal business hours, so we have to keep that in mind. So that changes things from a staffing perspective as well. So that gives us a little more time to apply for that grant, kind of get our ducks in a row in terms of what do we need to manage and operate that. So happy to answer any questions about that.
Questions, comments? Everyone on? Chris, this your first. Okay, guess not.
Okay, I thought I saw that we were looking, so that when you're talking about grants, cause I remember seeing that when I was reading through my packet, that you guys were looking at grants for the community center. You're not talking for any grants for what we've got proposed, you were talking about a grant for the splash pad going forward.
So I think Rowell is applying for one now, right, that could be utilized for the building, which would free up some money.
Okay, so it's potentially both. Okay, but how much would that be and what are our chances?
Eric and I met with them, and I mean, it's fairly good. That's why we applied. We requested 1.5 million.
Okay.
Was that was the max that you could ask for?
Yep.
I mean, what we're trying to do is supplant the budget with anything we can get in grants, because what we have that a lot of people don't have is we're gonna have shovel-ready projects. So if we can get even $1 million on that project. We wouldn't have to take as much out of CIP, and it would just free up more money in other areas. The splash pad, we made a strategic move to phase it because in and of itself is one of those GoCo outdoor, it just has a lot of things that make it where they wanna, it would compete more favorably,
Okay.
so.
And you said, sorry, so we have over 4 million in the CIP funds available, and alright, so we'd still have a little under 2 million if we did pull this all out of there and didn't get any grants, you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. And,
Okay.
and that CIP fund we established that one in about 2017, and it really is for this very thing. It's money that's left over every year, if there is, and it gives a cushion. It's not reserves, it's money available for projects. So we thought this would be a good use of it, because as soon as we started into this project and the construction started, I mean, we feel like we've made a promise, and I know we under budgeted, but none of us could have predicted what the construction costs were gonna happen, so.
Okay.
This is all predicated on a fairly good level of design, and we're pretty comfortable with these numbers. So when we say this, it wasn't like just eyeballing it when we went into it, we really sharpened our pencil.
And does this include in the Mura funds, are they factored?
The Mura funds are, what we aren't showing up here are the alley improvements and the parking lot that's gonna be paved. You remember
Yes.
just to the north? The Mura funds are designated for that part of the project.
Okay,
And we believe our budget for that, we're on target. So we're seeing this as two different projects.
okay.
This is one, and then the alley and the parking lot. Even though they'll probably be done simultaneously, they have different funding streams.
Okay, okay, that was my question.
Chris or Chris? I have just one, because all my questions were answered by Helen just now. Is there room for expansion later?
Yeah, if you could go back
Yeah,
on there,
that's a
so
good
to
question.
the floor plan. Maybe go back one more, let's just, yep, so what we have, I'll just point, we have sort of a large green space here off to the right, between this and what would be the parking lot. And so there is some room there for future expansion.
Is there any possibility that we could get large boards made for Community Day, that we could showcase this at a booth somewhere that I could rather stand at?
Yeah?
I think it would be important to see people's reactions when they see this and knowing that it's coming, and maybe we could do something off topic like the intersection improvement too, that if there's some boards that we can just showcase our projects, big projects around that, you know, and I think that's the biggest event that we have, that we could give the opportunity to showcase, I keep saying that word, to help our residents, highlight to our residents what we've been working on. So if we could do that, I think that would be important.
Yeah, and at National Night Out, we're gonna have the underpass people, correct?
Yep.
So, Community Day, we could have the underpass again, we could have this building, we can have the intersection. I mean, we've got big capital projects going on,
Yeah.
so. You know, one thing I did wanna also add, that Erica did a great job of working with the railroad, so we're gonna do our stormwater detention in the railroad property, which frees us up with more land on here. So that's really, I mean, you gotta give a shout out to your public works director, town engineer, cause that's a lot of work to try to get that. And by having our ability to put that somewhere else, it gives us more space to cram more stuff on the site, so.
Okay. Thank you very much, I appreciate it, thanks for the update, thanks trustees for answering the questions. So excited. Alright, next.
Mayor Whitlow,
Yes,
if we
I'm
can
sorry.
note that trustee Adams and trustee Broadhead have joined the meeting.
Okay, thank you, welcome trustees, appreciate it. Next is our proclamation for 2023 National Night Out. I'm excited to be part of this tomorrow night, which is scheduled for 5:30, starting at 5:30, right here in Town Park. Our Community Engagement Director, Public Information Officer will provide some information on this event, and I will turn it over to her. Thank you, Lorelei.
Thank you, guys. So, for 40 years, law enforcement and public safety agencies across the country have been participating in National Night Out. This year is Mead's 5th celebration. National Night Out is an opportunity for residents from all over Mead to come together and meet police officers, firefighters, and public works professionals, all in a family-friendly environment. The freebies, the activities, food service begins tomorrow at 5:30. Mead Police will be out in full force with special activities. They're doing a drone demo. They have SWAT gear, show and tell. They're gonna offer up some tours of the police department. Public Works and Mountain View Fire will have multiple vehicles out there to touch and tour and let the kiddos climb on. Mead Chamber is serving free burgers, hot dogs, and drinks to the first 500 guests. And Grandview will have their bounce house. They have lemonade offerings, popcorn, cotton candy, and if that's not enough, we'll have Kona ice for sale and some cute alpacas to visit. Our band this year is the Country Music Project, and they'll start playing at 6:30, and it's not gonna end until 8 o'clock. So we hope you guys come out and join in the festivities.
Thanks, Lorelei. Thanks for putting it on.
Thank you.
It's elevated from a photo booth to this, so thank you very much, because we have worked really hard for the last years to get this National Night Out just perfect for our town, so thank you very much. All right, Trustee Parr, will you please read the proclamation tonight?
Declaring August 1st, 2023 as National Night Out 2023. Whereas the National Association of Town Watch sponsors a national community building campaign on Tuesday, August 1st, 2023 entitled National Night Out, and whereas National Night Out is celebrating 40 years of community building that promotes strong police, community partnerships, and neighborhood camaraderie to make our neighborhoods safer, more caring places to live and work. And whereas the residents of Mead play a vital role in assisting the Mead Police Department through joint community building efforts, and whereas the National Night Out campaign provides an opportunity for residents in Mead to join over 38 million neighborhoods across the 17,000 communities from all 50 states, U.S. territories, and military bases worldwide, and whereas it is essential that all neighbors of Mead come together with police and work together to build a safer, more caring community, and now, therefore, the Board of Trustees do hereby call upon all residents of the community to join the Town of Mead and National Association of Town Watch in support of National Night Out on Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. Further, let it be resolved, the Board of Trustees, that Tuesday, August 1st, 2023 is National Night Out in Mead, Colorado. Given under her hand and seal of the Town of Mead, Colorado, Colleen Whitlow.
Thank you very much, Trustee Parr. All right, is there a motion to approve the signing of the proclamation?
I approve. I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Trustee Harris,
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you all there tomorrow night. Okay, next is our public comment, our first public comment for the night. Board welcomes public comment for any item, whether it is on the agenda or not. The board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. If you desire conversation, please email the board or town manager or attend the monthly coffee with the mayor. If you wish to speak during the public comment period, please adhere to the town's general guidelines. Please start by stating your full name and an address for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the Board of Trustees. If you are representing a group, you will have 5 minutes. If you wish to address the board, please indicate by raising your hand now. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda for tonight. The consent agenda contains items which are considered routine and are approved by with one motion and vote. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Is there any discussion at all? Okay, roll call please.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
Trustee Harris,
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you, motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Goldberg, for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time. All right. Seeing we have no further general business for tonight, so this brings us to the second regular public comment period. We would follow the same guidelines previously stated. It's your second chance to talk to the board of trustees tonight. Please raise your hand. Seeing none, any elected officials have anything to report?
I have a question that I sent to Helen, and I think you forwarded on, that we seem to be getting overwhelmed with solicitors in the town. And I started to do a little bit of research and found out that it's a violation of law, or can be, if an ordinance is in place that says you may not knock on a door if it has a no solicitor sign on it. And some towns are charging outrageously high amounts of money for people that do that and are actually turned in. After a little discussion that we had, found out that there are no solicitors currently registered with the town. So anybody who knocks on your door that's not a neighbor would technically be soliciting or peddling, and without a license, that's one violation. But I'm curious if we can implement an ordinance that would support the knocking on the door when there is a no solicitation sign on there, and perhaps create a situation where we can find those people. So I'm just tossing that out there as a question.
I don't know much about it, and we could do some research into it. Marcus might know more than I would, or our clerk. I think, I'm not sure exactly what our rules are.
Well, currently our rules are, as trustee Cartwright pointed out, that they have to have a permit to be going door to door. But you're correct, we do not have an ordinance that says you can't knock on the door if there's a sign up. So that does seem like a legal question. Marcus, what do you think?
Well, I did see trustee Cartwright's email. I haven't had a chance to do any research quite yet. I mean, it's been a number of years since I've worked on a solicitation ordinance. I do think that even if there is a sign on the door, my recollection is that you have to make an exception for, potentially make an exception for, a religious group or other, nonprofit that may be just asking for money. But that's something that we can definitely look at the current state of the case law on that. I do know that a lot of jurisdictions do, as Mead has in place, a licensing requirement. However, if there's currently no penalty provision in the code for not obtaining the license, or alternatively for knocking on the door if there is a no trespassing sign or no solicitation sign, that's something that we could look into as well. It would just be a matter of whether a majority of the board wants to direct staff and my office to look into that, and then I can coordinate with Mary and staff on bringing something forward for the board's future consideration.
Is that something that might be of interest?
My question is, how do you enforce it? That would be my thing, and we're so limited in our police force. How would we enforce it? That would be a question, and to Chief and to Helen, and how do you divert your time from a matter versus this matter? I don't know. Trish, you had a question?
It's not a big problem in our neighborhood.
Well, no, it's not. No, it's not.
We're not worth their time, we're too spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah, our neighborhood's more compact, and I think we probably had at least half a dozen roofers, hail-dent people all wandering through the neighborhood, just in that period of time. So as an aside to this, if we do decide to look into it, could we put something on the website that lists who is a legal peddler for the time being, that we could direct people to, maybe in a Fun Fact Friday, and say, hey, if somebody knocks on your door and they're not in this list, then you can shut the door in their face and tell them, go get a permit.
That list already exists on our website.
Can we make it easy to find? Maybe.
Well, that depends upon how you're looking. Yeah, I mean, our website has its challenges, right?
They have to have a license with them, don't
They have to have a license with them. I mean, that would be the thing to inform your neighbors about, right?
Yeah. Maybe
The
that's what we need
license
to talk
is
about.
issued to a specific party, not to a business, it's to an individual. And that individual needs to have the license on their person while they're going to door. And we do have, they can get a ticket for that, they can get cited for not having a permit.
Is it same for political reasons, like when we were handing out door hangers for sales tax increase?
No, it's soliciting.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
door hangers are a different animal,
okay.
but if they are, I think if it's nonprofit or if it's religious, or I think even if it's political party, then those are allowed even if there is a no solicitation sign. But if one goes up and there is a sign and it's not for one of those three, then it's a violation.
Okay.
It's, no solicitors apparently is, don't talk to me about anything and I don't want any of your information, and that's cut and dry. And like I said in the email, Vail charges massive amounts of money for these things, but of course they're in $1 million homes or multi-million-dollar homes, so it's a little different bracket. And of course, this would add a little bit of a burden perhaps to the police department, unless you shut the door and then walk in and call code enforcement and they just happen to drive by. But anyway, I'm just pointing it out because it was quite annoying during that whole period of time.
So why don't we do some educational on it?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
for now,
fine. Yeah,
and
that's fine.
if it continues to persist, maybe the board will take it up and ask Marcus to go look into it.
Okay.
But I think the more we educate people about this and they know that there's a place to go find those people, if it's there on our website, then I don't know, I just,
We've had registered solicitor. We've had them going in where they are legal. I will say in my neighborhood, must have the same rule in Fort Collins, but they would have their badge is around their neck and it says authorized by the city of Fort Collins, so I don't know if we do it is it that pronounced, they have to wear the necklace? Okay.
I just don't think anybody's aware of it.
yeah, I think just education for right now.
Yeah.
And then if it continues to pursue, if it,
I'm fine with that.
persists, then bring it back and,
I mean, if by chance this happens and you do know what company they're from, to me, solicitation is very similar to using the right of way with putting signs for house cleaning and windows and roofs. So they leave footprints in the sand when they put that sign there, and we typically call them and say, hey, you're not allowed to put signs in the right of way, it's really illegally soliciting. So it's a very similar thing, but if we could find out who they were, we would call them, we'd have our code enforcement, give them a call and say, hey, you need to be registered. I actually think some of them would, because I don't think it's all just, they just drive up and start blanketing the neighborhood.
No.
It's not that big of a deal for them to come and get it. Isn't it pretty inexpensive?
It's $75 and $1,000 bond or deposit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, I think you're right, I think education is the way to go, and if that doesn't help,
Yeah.
then maybe we can pursue it a little bit more, but I just wanted to throw it out there as a question.
we could put it on the Mead Messenger, we could put it on our website, we could put it on track, I mean.
sure.
I don't know, thanks for bringing it up, though.
Hey, you're welcome. I have one more,
Yep, go ahead.
and this is about, noise that's coming from Boulder Scientific again, it's not vocal noise, it's town people that are new to the neighborhood, not understanding that Boulder Scientific does
She's not new.
releases.
The person you got into the discussion with,
She's not new.
she bitches every week.
Yeah.
Every week.
But I was just wondering, since we do have a lot of new neighbors and this came to the top of the list again, maybe we can talk about how the EPA does do their checks and make sure that we're in good shape, and that Boulder Scientific, I commented that, you know, they're a staple of our community, and they've been here since 1979, so they're probably not going anywhere. That maybe we can just kind of put something out there that just says, yeah, we know that it smells a little bit, but it's all legal. Just anything, just kind of, again, education. That's it.
We've been around the bend on this a few times. The problem that we have is, as a town, all we can do is really, they have to say what they do. We have been there and talked to them, and, you know, I'm personally reassured that they are so regulated by every alphabet of the government. I mean, they have, it's just like oil and gas, they're wildly regulated, and they are extremely regulated because of the business that they do. I will reach out to them again, and we've asked them to come to our community events before, and just have a table and explain what they do, because it is very interesting, and most people don't know, and so, and they just smell that smell and think that it's necessarily bad. But the problem is, we can't be the messenger. All we can say is, we don't regulate it, and they appear to be in compliance, but it's, do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I know, it's a fine line that we don't wanna get involved in private business. And
Exactly.
they are a private business, and my only comment was that I think that there's whole neighborhoods that have moved in that are unaware. And maybe we can get Boulder Scientific to put something out that just says, you know, hey, we're here and everything we do is above board, and just something that might help some of these people understand that, you know, they didn't just move in here because you moved in. So, I don't know, just trying to think of some way that maybe we can encourage them to educate the people again.
Yes, I think Lee would help us.
Yeah.
But we regularly do a lot of meetings with them and making sure that the safety concerns of our residents and area residents are good, and do a lot of, what would you call it, chief, what do you call it? Scenarios, you know, we do a lot of scenarios and things like that. We meet once a quarter, and, well, we have a great relationship with them, you know, so, and Will County with their hazmat, division, so.
Actually, maybe we could do something like have them put something together we could put into the welcome packet. Because people are going through that welcome packet, and it would be something that they would see, and they might have a bit better understanding since they're new to the neighborhood. Anyway, I'll toss that over the fence and see where it goes.
There you go, okay. Trustee Adams, Trustee Broadhead, do you have any comments or reporting that you would like to address tonight? And thank you for joining us.
I don't.
Okay, thank you, Deb.
And neither do I. I'm good.
Okay, thanks, David. Thank you, Marcus, for joining us. I don't have anything today. I mean, we've got a lot this busy week. We got North I-25, coffee with the mayor, great coffee by Mary. Tomorrow night's gonna be huge. I have a big meeting down in Denver tomorrow. We're talking about leadership for economic development, so that'll be packed day. So that's all I have, but thank you very much for all your time. Really appreciate it. Do we have anything before we motion to adjourn? Thank you, staff, for being here. Thank you for your screen. Thank you, Sarge, for being here. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
Trustee Harris,
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Trustee Park,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. The July 31st, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees now adjourned at 6:41. Thank you very much. Please drive carefully, and those